Hey guys, it's Gunrunner7271. Last weekend you watched me struggle through doing some long-term storage stuff in Mylar bags and buckets. I said I was going to go out and look for irons this week. Didn't have to look very far, because after watching a lot of other YouTube videos and kind of putting some things together, I was kind of off base with a home iron. Yes, it will work, but it is a lot of work. After watching them, Prepper RN and I, we come to the conclusion that she had everything we needed in the bathroom. And that's one of these hair wands that straightens your hair. Duh. It was feet away from me, and I didn't even realize it. So here's what's going on. We've got a Helen of Troy. I don't necessarily recommend the brand. I don't really care about the brand. What I care about is this little dooflocky in here. This is an off-on switch, and this is a temperature control. Okay? Why the temperature control? Well, this is our test strip that I said we were going to be working on this week. I started off thinking that, oh, hotter is better. Well, I scorched it. Scorched the bag right there, and silly me, had to turn down the heat. But once I turned down the heat and got really going, man, this was short work. Okay, I sealed this entire bag. I put like a little 3/4 inch seal on it here, and this section here, I really got brave as I turned down the heat. The ideal heat is between 280 and 300 degrees. You can, as long as you keep it moving, it won't scorch the bag. And this seal here, as you can tell, this is complete across the complete 4-inch piece, because that's how wide these are. They're like 4.5 inches or something like that. But you can tell, you know, you can tell there that I pulled that through and it's sealed right. I mean, that's a perfect seal. My God, that's factory perfect. So anyway, failure sometimes can create positive learning experiences. I wouldn't call what I did this weekend a failure. I would call it a lot of hard work. It was not what I would consider working smart. It was working hard. However, out of my, whatever you want to call it, my experience, that's what we're going to call it, experience. I found something that's going to work and work well. In that fact, I also found a temperature range that I needed to have any future iron temperatures at, and you know, now I have some experience. I can actually, and I also went online due to someone putting on the YouTube about the Mylar.com or mymylar.com. I actually pulled down a bunch of info about how much O2 packets that I need to do the job correctly, to suck out all the oxygen. So the lesson here is I probably should have done a lot more research before I got started, but I was kind of gung-ho and saying I can do this, you know, and well, we met with success with a lot of hard work, and that's not what we want to do. We want this to be easy, and you know, especially when you're trying to show your kids on how to do this. So, you know, we talked about earlier in 2011 about being a complete prepper. Just a little progress report. As everybody knows, we moved out to the homestead here, which is like a mini farm. We have 3.5 acres of pasture and 1.5 acres of space for the house, the stable, the garage, and breezeway and everything. And you know, it's a lot to mow, but we're managing. We're on a well. I did manage to call an electrician buddy and have the wellhead put on a plug so that I can unplug it and plug it into a generator, so we're never without water. That's important. And the way I've got it rigged up, I can run my generator in my garage and, you know, pretty much get away with it with a little finagling. When I say get away with it, not kill everyone in the house, because there's an air gap between, there's a breezeway between the house and the garage, and muffling the signature of a generator is fairly easy when you're out in the country. So, you know, if need be. We hope we don't need that. But one of the other things we talked about was sustainable gardening or sustainable food source. We do have plenty of deer available to us out here, which I will be harvesting this year. We also have plenty of predators like coyotes and foxes and hawks. So they do keep a lot of the smaller items in check, some of the nuisance animals in check. Haven't done much on the garden. That was a real disappointment this year. We had a little, not so much Prepper RN and myself. Before Prepper RN, there was a little debate about a garden. And gardens are no fun if you're working them by yourself. Prepper RN and I have decided that we're going to try to put in at least a half an acre garden this year. We're going to have Buck Run 11 come down, do a slight assessment on what he would like to see, provided, you know, the land that we have available, and still make it look like we're civilized people. Maybe after the next MVOP meeting in July, which is July 21st at 10 a.m. Through 3 p.m. on bug out bags, EDCs, get home kits, potty kits. If you have a kit, bring it. That's at the Taylorsville Reserve Metro Park. It's a Five Rivers Metro Park, and additionally it's at the Hackberry Shelter House, which is south of the Taylorsville Dam, in the shadow of the dam. So, getting back to your progress report for myself, we also talked about getting healthier through an exercise program. Well, I can tell you, after chopping wood for 2 days, I was sore for 6. That's the exercise program. We are just flat out getting it as far as you know, working around the homestead. There's wood that needs to be chopped. There's always something that needs to be done. I'm developing a list of tools that I need, you know, like pitchforks and hay rakes and all sorts of stuff that I need. You know, there's always something to be done out here on the farm, which my friends are affectionately calling the compound. We've had plenty of good family times, though. We've thrown several family barbecues where family and friends have dropped by, and you know, we've all taken turns riding the horses and playing with the horses. It brought out a side to my mother that I hadn't seen in many years, and she actually spent a great deal of time, I guess you would say, playing with the horses. My mother grew up on a 77-acre tobacco farm, and you know, she actually missed that, and I didn't even know that about her. So we've had some good moments, some good family time. It's rough on the kids because we've separated them from all the hooligans or kids that we didn't want in their lives, and now they're out here in the country and there's nobody around, and that has some issues all of its own. You know, can't have everything you want, you know. But short of homeschooling, and we're not prepared to homeschool them yet. Number one, we don't have time. Number two, the school systems here, you know, in Piqua aren't that bad. The school systems are good school systems, and they're dedicated to learning. They're not gladiator academies, so I don't feel the need to homeschool at this time. but certainly it's always an option, because nobody can teach your kids like you can teach your kids. Let's see, progress report. Well, we're finally living the type of lifestyle which is still working in the city, living in the country, and coming home to your country place. That's kind of the lifestyle I would like. Call me a gentleman farmer, call me whatever you want, but you know, we have a lot of country and a lot of city. City's not all that far away. It's 48 miles, and we come home for the peace and quiet, and we like it. We really do. For the first time in many years as an adult, I feel just joy. Even when I'm sore from chopping wood and moving wood piles, and you know, we had a tree come down out back with the storms last week. You know, I know what that means. Now I got to get out there with a chainsaw and cut more wood because this tree came down, and I'll be cutting and splitting wood again probably next weekend, and if not, it'll have to go 2 weeks. But you know, we're just happy. We're much happier. We've got plenty of food. We have short-term food. I'm starting to work on our long-term food. What you saw in the last video about the Mylar bags is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, as soon as I can afford more buckets, more bags, more food, and more Gamma lids, you know, I never realized, you know, in 5 Gamma lids and 5 buckets, I had probably $25. No. Gamma lids I had $35 in buckets. Gamma lids, it was more like 40. Gamma lids were $6.25 a pop times 5. That was 30 something. And then you throw in $2.69 a bucket. Daggone. I had about 45, 46 bucks in that. I had $15 in Mylar bags, $21 shipped, and then you have the food to put in them. Long-term storage, food storage is not cheap. It's well worth it. The peace of mind and doing it right. You have to do it right. I've seen the results of not doing it right. You have to do it right. We don't have many options on doing it right. You have to do it right the first time, because I'm not sure you get a second chance. Guys, that's just a little progress report. I'm up to like 245 subs. Stay with me. I told you in 2011 that, hey, stick around, you're going to see some things. And as far as preppers go, I've made a lot of, networked with a lot of people through YouTube. I couldn't ask for more input than I get on YouTube. There's been so many good people, encourage me, offer me suggestions, and it's all constructive criticism if I get any. I couldn't be happier than I am probably right now. We haven't done a range day video, primarily because this move has been very taxing. I have not been fishing in my bass boat all season, and it is wearing on me. Sacrifices had to be made. We had to move 2 households into 1 household, which required some creativity on my part, because our house is only like 11 or 1200 square feet, and we both came from decent sized houses. So that required some creativity on my part, and we are still working on getting everything to fit. But you know, I got no complaints. It's coming together. It's coming together great. I've had a lot of support from I'm One Ugly Guy, Amber Copper. The list goes on. There's several ladies on YouTube that give me blessings almost every video. Their encouragement has just been overwhelming. A lot of guys here locally have been giving me some suggestions lately on what I can do differently, and in fact I followed one of those suggestions about getting the Mylar bags and you know, how to seal them and all that stuff, and that was just yesterday. So I went to that site and boom, all of a sudden I figured out what I was doing wrong and struggling so much, and I'd like to thank him too. Guys, stay with me. We're going to make some rain today videos here pretty shortly. Right now it's kind of dangerous to make them because we're under a burn notice, you know, and I can't guarantee that I'm not shooting tracers because I use military surplus ammo. So we're going to have to wait until we get a huge amount of rain and they lift the burn ban and all that crap in Miami County. Again, stay with me. You're going to see a lot more. My goal, my end goal, you need to know these things, what my objectives are. My objectives are to have 1 year's food for me, my significant other, and her 2 kids. It's also to have enough food to at least accommodate relatives, extended family members, and good friends for maybe 3 months. Okay? In addition, to provide them a safe zone, a safety bubble, a safe and secure area to come to in case of a crisis. We all know that it doesn't have to be this big. I keep preaching this, and I hope everybody's listening. Here in Ohio, for those folks who are out of Ohio, it doesn't have to be some big civil disorder. It doesn't have to be red Chinese coming across the border. It only has to be you against Mother Nature. This last week we got our butts whipped by Mother Nature. It wasn't any enemy other than Mother Nature. I got trees down in my back 40, big time. You know, crossing my electric fence and everything else. Had to get out in the middle of a storm with a chainsaw and cut them off my fence. I guess my point is, a lot of people are still without power here in the Miami Valley, or several thousand people still without power in the Miami Valley. We were only out without power for 3 hours. Was I prepared to go for 30 hours? Yeah. Was I prepared to go for, 30 days? Yeah. Could I have gone 6 months? Might have been stretching 6 months. I would have had to get into my long-term storage, what little bit of long-term storage I have. I would have definitely had to get into that. And maybe I'm underrating myself. I don't know. I'm one of those people where I can't have enough. I'm not a food hoarder or whatever, but I can't have enough preps. I'm out buying cots. I got a buddy who gave me 2 cots and he started the ball rolling. I'm out looking for old Army cots. I'm out looking for newer cots, Cabela's and whatever else. The in-laws got a camper. Brother-in-law's got a camper. Everybody's got campers except us. We're working on that. Why are we working on that? For recreational purposes, no doubt. But we're also working on it because it gives us a room addition for guests that are displaced. Now, I can't take care of everybody. I really can't. But I can tell you what I can do. I can be as generous as I can before it starts to hurt me and my family, my core family, the 4 of us. And then it goes to my mother and father, her mother and father, her brother, my sister, my uncles, my aunts, her uncles and aunts. I can try to make those people as comfortable, and we can ration out the food so that we can go for as long as we possibly can. I'm not going to stop with just getting enough long-term storage to last a year. I've got enough short-term storage to go for a year. I'm going to go and extend my long-term storage for even longer periods of time. Okay? I have not yet begun to can anything. I've started the dehydrating process, and I'm, blowing out the dehydrator. I'm thinking about getting another one that has a fan in it. I'm blowing out a dehydrator. I'm dehydrating anything I can find. So I have not yet started to can. Even though I've canned with Ember Copper, I'm just lacking in confidence, I guess. I'm scared to death I will forget something. I'm just lacking in a little confidence there. I've got some people in the MVOP, Miami Valley, Ohio Preppers, that I'm going to hook up with, and we're all going to have a canning party soon. And hopefully, after several times of doing this whole canning thing, I will be not a master canner, but just a confident canner. Guys, this is Gunrunner7271 saying stay prepped. I hope the storms didn't kick your butt like they kicked ours. Keep up with me. I encourage everyone to keep watching. If there's anything you want to see, me do, like, I don't know, can something, or hopefully pretty soon, if you want to see some tactical videos, they'll be coming. And quite frankly, who wants to get out in 100-degree heat and do tactical stuff, right? If they're not beating down your door. I would like to encourage everyone to go to Prepper RN's channel. I'm telling you now, this woman is an exceptional extreme couponer. Sometimes she's a little too good for her own good. We won't ever buy another thing of barbecue sauce. I can't kill enough deer and have enough beef for all the barbecue sauce that we have. It's to the point now where we actually give some away. We've given yogurt away this week. We've given barbecue sauce away this week. And something else we gave away this week. I think it was lemonade or something or another. Kool-Aid or lemonade or whatever. And I don't mind, because she's giving it to family and relatives that probably need it far worse than we do, or it's just a good gesture, a goodwill gesture, So she's going to be at our next prepper meetup. Like I say, I encourage everybody to come. She'll be speaking. Buck Run 11 will be speaking. The Rifleman 336 will be speaking. And if anybody wants, I'll run my trap about tactical stuff. Hey guys, again, it's Gunrunner7271 saying stay prepped, and may God bless you.